You love your work, right? But do you sometimes have that nagging feeling that your job dominates your whole life? That so much of your attention and energy is poured into the work you love that there's hardly any time left for other things, including the people that matter to you the most. In this video, I will show you 5 simple practices that will help you get out of the negative cycle of constant overwork and create a better, healthier work-life balance. One day, my husband turned to me and asked, "So, how do you like my new glasses?" I looked up from my computer and said, "Oh, yeah, actually, they look great." "Well," he replied, "I've had them for over a week now. People have been commenting on them everywhere I went. But here at home, I'm invisible." This conversation took place 10 years ago, but I still remember how hard this last sentence hit me. It made me realize that my work took over my life so much that everything else became just a blur. During the day, I was working. In the evenings, after putting the kids to bed, I was working. And when I wasn't working, I was thinking about work. That one sentence from my husband put my life into a harsh perspective. It was like a wake up call. It made me realize that if I want to have a good relationship, a happy family life, and even perhaps some time for myself, then I have to start setting some boundaries. So now I'm going to show you 5 steps that help me restore a healthier work life balance and that can help you do the same. My first piece of advice is focus on your loved ones to raise awareness. Back then, 10 years ago, I kind of knew I was working a lot, but I wasn't aware of the extent of the problem until my husband told me that actually he felt invisible next to me. Similarly, many managers I coach only start taking some drastic steps to recreate their work life balance once they realize how much their overwork actually damages their most important relationships. Before this realization, they just can't seem to motivate themselves to change. So, as a first step, take an honest look at your close relationships. Are you really satisfied with the amount and the quality of time you spend with your loved ones? Because let's be frank here, whenever you commit to yet another work related task, you take that time away from those people who matter to you the most. So think of your relationship with your loved ones to raise awareness and to motivate yourself to change. Secondly, schedule your downtime. Simply deciding to work less rarely improves people's work life balance. I suggest you approach the issue from the opposite direction. Instead of doing less work, what would you like to do more of? Perhaps you would like to meet your friends more or do some exercise. Then schedule these activities. Put them on your task list and in your calendar, like you would do with any work related commitment. Here are some real life examples from managers who started treating their private activities just as seriously as their workplace commitments. The first one said, "I will be reading my kids their bedtime story every single evening at 7 p.m., no exceptions." The second commitment was, "I will go for a short 15-minute walk every weekday after lunch." And the third one, "I take my girlfriend out every Friday evening starting this week." All these 3 promises were actually kept, partly owing to the fact that they were made very specific and scheduled. The third step is to minimize notifications. Suppose you've scheduled your important private activities, but just as you're having that nice coffee with your friend, all of a sudden, ping, an email comes through from your boss. And now you can't stop thinking about it. You're supposed to have fun and relax, but effectively, your brain is still in the work mode again. 10 years ago, when I decided to radically reset my work life balance, the one change that had the biggest positive impact was, in fact, the simple act of turning off all work related notifications on my phone. And recently, I've taken things one step further even. I don't have access to my work emails on my phone at all. This might seem quite radical and admittedly not very practical, but I did it anyway, because by now I'm fully aware of my own workaholic tendencies. Even in the absence of push notifications, from time to time I still caught myself checking my emails just to see if there is anything new. Well, I can't do that anymore. And it helps me a great deal to be in the present moment when I'm not working. My fourth piece of advice is to do a regular mind sweep. Sometimes it's hard to let go and stop your mind thinking about work, even in the absence of notifications. You come home from a busy day at work, you're supposed to be with your partner now, but your brain is still spinning. Or you go to bed, but thinking about all the unfinished tasks keeps you awake. There will always be unsolved problems at the end of a working day, but you still can regain your sense of control and therefore switch off more easily by practicing this so called mind sweep technique. This idea has been promoted by David Allen in his famous book, Getting Things Done. The mind sweep technique is pretty simple, yet very, very powerful. Anytime you feel overwhelmed with all the to-dos running through your head, spend 5 to 10 minutes writing down every unfinished task, everything that requires your attention. Thus, you can free your mind and have your tasks safely stored on a piece of paper or in a document. This way, you don't have to juggle with all these to-dos in your head anymore. You can let go this way more easily. I do a mind sweep at the end of every day before switching off my computer. The knowledge that nothing will be forgotten because I have them safely written down gives me the peace of mind that I really need to relax and get out of the task-focused mode. And finally, number 5, set your boundaries in a positive way. I have a coaching client, a senior leader, whose boss was in the habit of regularly calling her at 6, 7 p.m. when she was already at home with her children. Usually, the boss didn't ring about anything urgent. It was just a convenient time for him to talk things through because he was driving home from work. After a while, my client got really fed up and started sending the boss messages like, "I'm with the kids now. Is it urgent? If it is, I'll call you back." In most cases, the boss's reply was, "Oh no, no worries, nothing urgent, talk to you tomorrow." After a few occasions, the evening calls stopped altogether. She managed to set her boundaries while still remaining open and helpful. If you are to create a healthier work-life balance, you also need to learn to set your own boundaries. And as the story above illustrates, it can be done in a positive way. Communicate very openly and clearly what you need, but be helpful and proactive at the same time. Here's a personal example. Before I go on holiday, I usually send out an email to my colleagues well in advance saying, "I'm going on holiday next week and I would like to switch off completely. So if there's anything you need my help with, please contact me this week. Let's sort it out before my vacation." This way, I clearly communicate that I don't want any calls during my holiday. But I do this in a helpful and proactive manner. Ever since I started this habit, I hardly ever get disturbed when I'm on vacation. What's more, I achieved this without having had to reject anybody by simply being crystal clear on what I needed. In summary, here are the 5 steps I recommend for a better work-life balance. Firstly, focus on your loved ones to raise awareness. Second, schedule your downtime. Thirdly, minimize notifications. Fourthly, do a regular mind sweep. And finally, number 5, set your boundaries in a positive way. If you found this video useful, click on the like button and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications as we will be back soon with some more leadership videos.